Hello everyone, it's Healthy Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host here. Hi ladies.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
We're doing very good. Morayo, yesterday I heard a story that one lady, she went to go and do her wedding in one church where they don't allow makeup and attachments. So the pastor's wife came and wiped the brow of the bride and cut her hair. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Why don't I attend churches like that? Where you will know that Christ said meekness, not weakness. And then I will show the pastor's wife that you are not my mother. Why are Christians like this?
Is it a real story?
Real story. Happened in Lagos. Yeah. Mama Church went to go and cut the bride's hair because she used attachment. The lady had natural hair.
Well, the lady should have known the kind of church she was going to get married in. You see,
but
if you know the kind of church, I mean, you know the kind of church that those things are allowed. You go to that kind of church to get married. Why would you go to
that is such a violation of somebody's rights for you to go and cut their hair on their wedding day.
But there's something called
she's an adult. She's an adult.
There are church doctrines that exactly. There are church doctrines that this kind of.
It's the same thing I'm saying. When they are
that if you were the one, you'd have just walked out.
You won't come to me with that scissors and put it in my hair.
And that is you. But you see, when you go to a church, it's like going to those churches where they don't wear earrings.
Yeah, and then you wear a ring, then you wear trousers.
You know the kind of church you're going to. So
it's like going to Saudi Arabia.
Why don't you ask her to leave? Why do you violate her?
Why would she rather break the law? When you know that it's not allowed in this church,
all the stories,
go to a church that is allowed. Don't go to a church that is not allowed. I mean, it is basically.
In Rome,
you're right.
Like
it's infringing on her rights. But she knows she's an adult, and she went to that church. But anyway, let's not.
That's not how to pick.
How are you doing, Topper?
I'm good. I've been better. My head just wasn't working this morning. No time to make it work. But then we're in a good place. A lot of things are happening. November 27 is loading.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about. And on Twitter, we'll give you all the details.
Hi, how you doing? What's going on? Any interesting news?
I have many interesting news now.
Today is
Tuesday. November 27th that is happening. A lot of men are just terrorizing us that they want to come for the event.
I beg.
And I'm telling them that women need privacy. We want to just, discuss. You will see the results in the
other room.
Just let us be by ourselves. But we're pushing it.
Fantastic.
Hopefully, we'll have a successful event.
I like your hair, bro. Very girly.
Thank you. I actually bought it for Uber, but I never gave it to her.
He's a liar.
I actually bought this one for Uber, but I never gave it to her. I think I mentioned it to you that I bought you something. I just never gave it to you.
It goes with your dress. Your dress is very lovely, very colorful.
How can you buy something? You now look at it and admire it. You are not giving it back to the
I changed my mind.
A quick break.
Problem. There is God. God is washing.
And we come back. We'll look at the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's a few.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the punch. Presidency raises the alarm over imminent famine. Says 500 trucks laden with grains leave Nigeria weekly. Pleads with religious and traditional rulers to appeal to exporters. Federal government to purchase surplus grains for shortage. Picture here of the clash that happened in Kano. 8 Shiites, 1 policeman die. ASU begins nationwide strike on Wednesday. Obasanjo wanted life presidency, not third term, says Atiku. Oshibajo Saraki, Dogara governors meet over the 30 billion naira loan. And federal government charges Justice Ademola and wife with receiving gratifications. We counted 1.2 billion Obanikoro gave Fayoshe for 10 days, says banker. And ex-CDS Bade forfeits $1 million cash to federal government. Okay, lots of stories
here.
The headline. Presidency raises the alarm.
This would affect everybody, and they're saying that we might be there's fear of famine by January next year.
Yeah.
And that because a lot of grain is being sold and exported, and that even though we had surplus this year, the worry is that we might not have enough to feed us next year. And I don't think
to exporters to please
I don't think that's the right way to go about it. There are policies that can guide against these things, and that is what the executive is supposed to do, ensure that there are policies that would favor the country as opposed to one individual. You cannot tell an exporter to forgo the dollars that he's going to get.
Thank you.
And sell within the
But
country.
in the interest
Because
of
he
the
planted his plants.
country, that's why they are appealing
Mariah.
to traditional leaders and the clergy, religious leaders, to also appeal to them.
I'm a farmer. Some of these grains, most of the farmers, they import those grains, they plant
The
them.
seeds.
The seedlings. Now, you plant, instead of the government to support farmers and buy these things at reasonable prices. You understand? By the time you do your math and check how much you would make exporting this farm produce, you would rather go and export it for you to be able to earn foreign currency, to be able to buy the seedlings. I mean, the seedlings, the farmers are not, they are not a
charity
organization. So I think if the government really wants to help, they must empower farmers, begin to pay them what is due them. Not, you don't just allow their thing. You create an environment, first of all, for them to process these things and make more money from it.
So would you rather we go into farming?
Just one more word.
Going into farming. I'm just saying.
Just one more word. Maize and rice in the US is bought by the government and then sold to the people to ensure there is a steady price. They buy it up front. Once you've planted, it is paid for,
farmer.
so that the plants is the prices of food will be regulated for the people in the country. And I think the government needs to get to that point, because people are complaining now before famine.
Okay.
What will happen January next year?
ASU is
Threatening
I
strike.
wanted to say that Minister Audu Ogbe, Minister of Agriculture, was spending time importing grass rather than planting rice, and was
Okay, let's move on to
and
the
are now
nation. We
begging
can't take
people.
gas.
I want
We
to
have
talk.
move on.
Okay.
The Nation. Buhari bows to governors on board appointments. Oshibado meets with Saraki and Dugara others. 9 die in Shiats police clash. Inflation hits 18.3%. Ex-Sultan Dasuki dies at 92. And how $702,000 was paid into Bade's account. This meeting that Vice President had with Dogara and other leaders, the idea was just to appeal to the governors. Actually took their issue, said they're not happy with how the kitchen cabinet of the president appointed their own ambassadorial nominees. And but according to Vice President, he has assured them that going forward there will have more an inclusive government. According to VP, the president is just as shocked that these people appointed did not consult with the governors before appointing.
I don't understand.
So
some people are making a decision and the president
so our
isn't aware
president's
about
wife
it.
was right, pretty much.
That they
there's
hijacked
cabal.
they've hijacked the government. But how long does it take to appoint board of trustees and board appointments for like the NERC? There are many boards and parastatals that don't have chairmen and don't have board members.
And that's the issue.
Should it take 1 year? We're almost 2 years into this administration.
In short, they have withdrawn the ambassadorial list. They are going to compile a new one.
And they're going to have a more inclusive turnout. Okay, moving on very quickly to Daily Sun. APC governors angry with Buhari. Raise issue with ambassadorial nominee. We just talked about that. Picture here. Petroleum products black market at the heart of Lagos at Ijora, Orile Igomu. Prices of bread, fish, meat rise as inflation hits 18%. Ex-Sultan Dasuki dies at 93. Obaseki appoints SSG and COS CPS. 33 states can't pay salaries, says budget. And bloodbath in Kano. All right, so should we move on? We'll talk about that in Vanguard. Any other stories in who read this breadfish? Nobody read that story.
Well, I read the story of inflation eating 18.3%.
That's crazy. It was 15% sometime earlier this
12,
mid-year.
It was it from 9 to 12 to 15 to 17.
Said it's the highest ever, but somebody else said that
in
it's the
30
highest.
years.
So
That's
and
the
then they are
reason.
promising us farming next year.
It's taking back to what is the government doing to empower more farmers. It's not just putting agriculture out there on paper. It is the real
And
work.
favoring their own
You
people.
understand? And favoring people that will not really do it. I met a young man at the Food Summit in Lagos. The man is like the head of the youth farmers. He was saying that he knows people that have taken up loans that are meant for agric. They've diverted those funds. They're not using it for anything.
Wow.
You know, I mean, and you cannot deny that when it comes to government things like that can
Certainly
would definitely happen.
Okay, let's move on to Vanguard. Zakzaki, 20 killed as police. Shiite clash in Kano. Some people say 9 died, so I guess the numbers are a bit conflicted.
Yeah,
Yes,
the police said 9.
Okay, but
Police
says
said
20.
9.
All right, police fired tear gas, live ammunition at our members, says IMN. Shared members blocked expressway, attacked innocent citizens, says police. Dasuki, ex-sultan of Sokoto, dies at 93. Yoruba Egun clash. How I lost my father, brother, 3 children. Says Otodogbami resident. We spent 10 days counting 1.2 billion from Payoshi's ally, Agbili, says witness. I stopped Obasanjo's third term bid. And judicial corruption, federal government slams 15-count charge against Justice Ademola and his wife. Right. Let's talk about the Zakzaki story.
So the Shiites yesterday were having their Abain annual walk, and they had a clash with the police. They said that the police were firing tear gas and live ammunition. I saw pictures of a few people. I don't know if they were dead on the floor. They said a policeman was killed and 19 of their own members. The police deny that. They say only 9 bodies were found. Why the figures?
No, usually the police figures are usually lower than what
the witnesses say.
The witnesses say.
It is PR.
Why do they always do that?
Anyway, this is really sad for 2 things. One, the Kano State governor already banned the Shiites as a religious group in Kano State. So whatever it is that their work is, it is illegal because they've been termed an illegal sect in that state. So if the police now accost you because you have been declared illegal, I think that
did they stay that work in Kano?
Yes, it was.
It was at the border. You know, it was at the border. People leaving Kano to Kaduna, the Kano-Kaduna Expressway. That was where they obstructed the road.
I think that there are rules and regulations within the country. Every organization should obey those rules. 1. Number 2, the security officials should know that when you fire live ammunition, people will die. You could use tear gas. There are ways to disarm people and stop protests without costing people's lives. 3, we know that religious sentiments are high within this region. We've seen how Boko Haram was taken over and turned into a terrorist group. So we shouldn't give them an excuse to cause havoc by empowering and victimizing these people. Find a way to resolve this thing peacefully.
Let's move on to the Egun Yoruba clash.
You see, Jumoke read it. A 34-year-old man was saying how his house was burnt and how he lost his family members. You know, it's easy when you're counting statistics and you say 20 people were killed. Somebody's entire family was wiped out. It is really sad. It's unfortunate that Nigeria, in the midst of a probable famine and recession, we are still killing ourselves.
On land issues, this is Yoruba Egun talking about territorial
totally unnecessary.
Okay, I think the government has the power.
Nobody read about the 1.2 billion being read for 10 days. Nobody read that.
Read it now. They said they were counting.
Okay, so they were counting for 10 days. They are bankers. What's their job if they don't count money?
But I'm wondering why you need 10 days to count 1.2 billion.
No machines.
No
machines.
Really? No. But the guy was actually attesting to the fact that the 1.2 billion was brought in, and also that it came in 2 private jets. And you know, he was the one that collected the money and they counted it for 10 days.
Okay.
Rayo.
Yes.
What date is their court day again?
He was in court. He was in court.
Oh, okay. I'm pulling her legs. Like,
we want the court.
We just want to hear what the judges are saying.
But Justice Ademola and his wife have been accused almost $250 million. No, naira. 250 million naira, collecting that from various law firms, and also over $500,000 that they're collecting from firms, lawyers, you know.
And they told me to read law.
When your hand isn't clean.
They give them as gifts.
Yes, when they give you gifts, like Ajekela no Mokuleni, when they give you gifts and the conviction is in the favor of those that give you gifts, then we know what happened. It was a bribe.
All right. So final paper we have to run. This day, Oshimbajo meets with APC governors, any leadership on federal government and appointments. Let's see. Domestic debt, federal government to issue promissory notes to contractors in 2017. Police sergeant 8 Shiites killed in Kano clash. Dangote calls for improved funding to fight malaria. I thought Bill Gates just gave some money.
He's advising, advising the federal government.
All right, so I think that's all we can take on this segment. Let's take a quick break. Our hearts go out to the former Sultan, who died 93. May his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
That's all we can take. When we come back, failure of the health facilities at the renal center. We visited the plenary session yesterday, so we're just going to give you the gist that came from there. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for joining us. Now, it can be recalled that the Cardiac and Renal Center was built in Lagos State because of the growing problem of heart attacks and kidney failures diseases that Nigerians treat in India. But it was recently revealed that most of the equipment are not properly working, and they are actually estimated at $1.5 million. Now, interestingly, we visited the plenary yesterday at the Lagos House of Assembly, and that exactly was all the issues put forward by one of the honorable members, Segun Olulade. And we're going to discuss what we thought about that. But you can call us on 070-80668014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so you can read your tweet as we discuss this issue of the Renal Care Center. It was put forward yesterday. It was a pretty interesting experience yesterday to be there. But before we get to the core, what are your thoughts based on that? Who wants to go first? On the 1 hour celebration. On the 1 hour happy birthday.
I said if I start talking now, they'll say Jumoke has come again. That's why they say you people should not bring in your phone. Now, I did not think it was necessary for every constituent to greet the speaker on his birthday. It was his birthday on Friday. And they don't have plenary sessions on Fridays. They usually do it thrice a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So on Friday, they did not see him to greet. Some of them sent him SMS. Some of them wished him birthday wishes in the pages of newspapers. But they were seeing him for the first time yesterday. So they took all their time from my constituents in Agege, from my constituents in Osho. And I said, this is why
Ibrahim started it.
I said this is why people sleep at this plenary. When you use 1 hour just to, even the speaker was standing like this and just waiting. Okay, they go greet me, finish today.
Let me even help you. Someone, one of the honorables that had sent SMS.
Still read the SMS.
He now read the SMS. I was wondering, no, but you see, well, there was a really big issue that they addressed yesterday. I felt that for me, instead of doing, I think it is serious business first. Then pleasantries. That would make more sense to me because I was not there to,
but you know, on the other hand, I think these are people they work with every day. You can't say you come in as an outsider. They work with the speaker every day, so it's appropriate to acknowledge his birthday. You know, it's a normal thing. Think about it.
Nigerians like to do ceremony. If you really want to wish me a happy birthday, you know my office. You could come and greet me. You send me text message. On the floor, it is official assignment.
All right, no
problem.
Focus
on business.
Anyways,
moving on to the renal matter.
The chairman of the committee on health, that's Honorable Segun Olulade, brought up the issue.
This part of the plenary session I enjoyed very much. You know, they're very disciplined. I'd seen parliamentary sessions while I was in school, so this was really nice. Somebody gets up, the majority leader gets up to tell us the agenda. Somebody moves the motion for a debate. Somebody seconds the motion, and then the speaker says, if you agree, say aye. They say aye. If you don't say nay, there was no nay. The ayes have it.
So
now the issue about health was that in 2013, 2014, the Lagos State government had contracted out the building of
Don't mention the name, of the company.
I shouldn't mention.
Don't mention the name of the company that was given to.
Let's leave them aside. Can I mention the name of the manager of the company?
No need.
The story knows it again.
Okay, all right. So
they were awarded the contract to build a world-class what's it called, health facility. And I remember both of us visited that facility and we said, wow. I mean, this was like a major transformation in Lagos State. And to our shock and how do I put it, an amazing yesterday, they said from the findings of Honorable Olulade that they are recommending that they reissue that contract and that some of those equipment, is this some, be all of the equipment were already expired. And you know, the speaker asked the question yesterday and he was saying that, are they annual equipment that are supposed to no, because no, but Jumoke, this is very, very, very serious. You see, the only thing I kept that kept ringing in my head yesterday is that we need to draw a line. Government work is government work. Create policies, create environment, and stop there. But give these things to people that can privatize it, manage it, and if it's possible, maybe have an agreement, let them pay government a stipend. Not that government should be involved, because right now they cannot trace they said that the contract was not properly signed.
Yes.
And they cannot trace what's it called, whether that the how much percentage that was completed for the and before they handed over the contracts.
What was also interesting was that even in the chairman's address and summation, there was nothing about indicting or persecuting those who were in charge initially. But it was one of those other honorables that came up and said, we cannot just let this money go like that.
Oh, hold on, let me correct that. So Honorable Olulade's committee had come up with some findings and recommendations. As they were about to start the debate, two people were already expressing shock. And then the speaker now just said to himself, you know what, let's not spend time deliberating this. Let's send back Honorable Olulade to go and do a proper finding. Tell us, go and bring us the amount spent. Who in the government was supposed to be supervising? Because this is what happened. The government awarded the contract to one company and then gave another company to manage it. Now, the company to manage it, I can mention the name of the professor of that one, Professor Green, was saying that from day one that the place was commissioned, none of the equipment ever worked. They are there paying salaries, but they cannot do anything. So they abandoned the renal center. That's why the Lagos State House of Assembly is now looking into it. They've now realized that, please, let us do proper investigations on this before we start to deliberate.
Yes,
this took place 2013. That how many years ago?
2013,
no, they handed over the
2014. Yeah,
so salaries were paid for how long? Yeah. You see, these are the loopholes in government that makes money. We hear contracts being awarded. This was 1.5 billion. Billion.
No. They just said multi-billion. It was 1.5 billion dollars.
In dollars.
Yeah.
$1.5 billion was given to a company to do something, and it wasn't well done. And it makes you wonder that if there wasn't any prosecution, it was because there must have been some kickback, because this isn't a new thing. Wow. We've been talking about it. When Honorable Olulade came to this show, we asked him that what's going on with the renal center. He said they are investigating, and I guess we are happy that we were there to observe the result of that investigation. Some people, and we need to, until we start firing people, until we start giving major consequences to the bureaucracy, because this is handled by a ministry, and there wasn't proper documentation of how payment was made. There wasn't proper documentation of how the contract was awarded, and yet money was disbursed.
What was shocking to me was how quick it was for us to issue another contract. I was like, we've not even gotten to the point of reissue yet. Let's even investigate. Find out, prosecute. Let them go to jail first. Don't start thinking about
there are many roads in Nigeria that have been issued. The contract is issued every year, money paid every year for the same road, and it isn't done.
Murayo, the job of the Standard Organization of Nigeria is supposed to checkmate things like this. You're supposed to, for everything that we spend or we use in this country, we are supposed to have that stamp that the Standard Organization of Nigeria has put a stamp that this is quality. You know,
brought equipment that
that one already is an indictment.
Obsolete equipment.
You see why our leaders will not go to hospitals?
In
because
Nigeria,
they know
they can't.
They know that the equipment that they have put in this hospital that they are calling multi-billion naira equipment, they are already death sentenced.
Okay, let me
waiting to happen.
Austin from First Stack, are you there? Austin, are you there?
Yeah. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I want to speak about what Sahuwa said concerning the House of Reps. The more time they take, the more money they collect. That's why they always joke whenever they are gathering together. So, discussing the issue of that benefit the citizens. They rather joke and postpone because they know that every seat they pay them. So that's why they don't take anything serious. Somebody is marking birthday and they are reading text message.
Thank you, Austin. Actually, I beg to differ, because actually, for me, I had a new respect for our members of the House. They're actually deliberating on real issues. These are because we're privileged to have a conversation with Honorable Tunde Brian. And from the way he was talking, you see that these people, they actually have a lot of research is being done. They have the interest of people at heart. It's just that we also need to participate, because we knew for the first time we could actually be attending the plenaries. Yeah. As a citizen, you can go there to see what your members are discussing.
Two information. the plenary is open to the public. It's their parliamentary sittings that they do behind closed doors. So if you want to attend, you can go. Yes, I found it funny that the committee's recommendation was to say that don't give this particular company work again. Let's move on. But Mariah, the first parliamentarian was saying, no.
Yeah.
We're not going to just move on. What happened to government money before we move on?
Yeah.
So I like that they said, let's go and do our proper investigations properly before we start to talk about prosecution or anything else. Now, what I would have recommended is that rather than give one company the contract to do, another company the contract to manage, if it is one company that you know that they're certified to do the job right, give them the contract to supply and manage. And they're the ones who are supposed to then be delivering the proceeds.
All right, anyway, we have to run on this segment, but I think generally it was an interesting experience to watch the plenary, and
our eyes is on that renal center. They have to cough out the people that spent money.
Now that we know that
now that we know. No, it's true, because it's wrong.
Right,
a lot of people have died because they don't have facilities
Access
to use.
to
all right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're still celebrating. We're actually celebrating World Diabetes Day today, so we're going to be talking about diabetes. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for joining us. There is an increasing number of people living with diabetes, and half of them do not know they have it, as this has led to serious and life-threatening complications. According to reports, over 18.2 million Africans, including an estimated 4.8 million Nigerians, may become diabetic by 2030 if actions are obviously not taken. Joining us to discuss this is an endocrinologist, Dr. Yemisi Abdul-Salam. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, we're coming back again.
It's good to be back.
Yes. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So, Doc, it's World Diabetes Day today. Obviously, it's an opportunity for us to remind people of this disease, what causes it, how they can treat it, how they can even know the symptoms. So let's start from the beginning. For those that don't even know what it is, let's just start from the scratch. What's diabetes? Why are we celebrating today? Yes.
Okay. Well, it's good to be back. I always enjoy myself every time I come here. Thank you for inviting me again.
Thank you.
So, World Diabetes Day was actually yesterday, November 14th.
Okay, for yesterday.
And it's a day that, you know, it's been designed on an annual basis to just showcase everything about diabetes, because diabetes is killing us globally. In fact, more in, you know, African countries. So, like you mentioned, prevalence is increasing worldwide. I think now we have like over 400 million worldwide. Wow. And it's projected that in another 25 years, that number will have gone up by about 200 million or more.
Whoa.
And if you look at even coming down to our own, you know, neck of the woods, in Nigeria, we don't have great statistics. All the numbers, you know, there's so many reports, 1 million, 3 million, 4 million.
Yeah.
We in the diabetes community think it's truly underestimated. It's really, really much more than that. The other problem is that about half of most diabetics are not diagnosed. So for every diabetic that you see, there's another individual that has diabetes that doesn't even know it. Wow. So World Diabetes Day is an opportunity to talk about it, to encourage ourselves to go get screened. Okay. We all need to get screened.
What kind of screening is it?
So the easiest screening is just a simple blood test.
Okay.
Now there are clear risk factors for diabetes, and one of the major ones, of course we can't discuss everything in this short time, but one of the major take-home is family history. That is so crucial, because the majority of the type of diabetes that we see is mostly familial. There's a genetic basis to it. So if you have any, and you know, we're all very secretive in our society. If I have diabetes, I won't tell my husband. I won't tell my sibling. It's a problem. But if you have family members, especially first-degree relatives, you have to get screened.
Okay, I need to go and get screened as
So
quickly
it's
as
just
possible
it's just
then.
simple blood test.
Okay,
Now,
Dr. Yemisi,
yes.
we had a guest on the show this year, I think around August, who had a kidney disease, and she mentioned to us that her kidney failure was from diabetes.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, we were talking about the Cardiac and Renal Center in Lagos, and you mentioned that you worked there and that you've worked in many hospitals all over the world. None had the facilities that this hospital had. What do you think went wrong?
Well, I don't know what went wrong. All I know is that it was, I worked there as a visiting endocrinologist for a few months. I loved the facility. You know, of course, there are hospitals that have more facilities than that, but to have that many dialysis machines in one institution, it's not that common. Because, you know, the intention behind building that place was fantastic.
Okay.
In fact, it would draw need from all over Africa, not just Nigeria.
Wow.
I don't know what went wrong behind the scenes, but I'm hoping they can fix it. That's a place I would love to go back to. The reason why I got involved is that uncontrolled diabetes is one of the major causes of kidney failure.
When you say uncontrolled, do you mean like not properly medicated, or what do you mean by uncontrolled?
Yes, not properly managed. To be honest, even if you have diabetes, there's really no reason why an individual with diabetes cannot live a long life. It's the control that matters.
Okay.
But I see patients in clinic all the time. I see new patients, and I hear this every day. They tell me, oh, I was diagnosed 4 years ago.
Wow.
Somebody diagnosed me. They prescribed me medications, and I've been taking the medicine. The problem is that they've not gone back to that doctor. They've not gone back to get it. They just go to pharmacy, buy the same pill, and keep taking
Oh,
it.
that's bad?
And at
Yes.
some
So
point,
somebody that does that.
yes, so the disease has probably not been well controlled for a long period of time, and it's like a silent killer. It starts to damage the eyes, the kidneys, the nerves,
Wait, you just
the
hit
blood
something
vessels.
really important now, because that's what the average Nigerian does.
Yes.
We
That's
get
what we-
diagnosed
yes,
and we go to
that's
the
what we
pharmacy,
do.
just buy drugs, thinking that's
Yes.
maintenance. So you're
And
saying
then-
that's not maintenance? That we need to,
Well,
that's not
you can be
managing.
going to the pharmacy to buy your drugs, but you need to be seeing your doctor.
Oh.
There are certain tests that we do at certain intervals to be able to monitor degree.
Still on that point, I remember that the same lady that the kidney patient that came here said that she had regular meetings and the drugs were being changed regularly. So,
But still-
and yet she still had kidney issues and was operated on. Now, what I want to find out from you is a lot of people out there are suffering from this syndrome where they have diabetes, they already medicated themselves, they feel they are okay if the spikes are used. My mother-in-law, when her blood sugar spikes, she uses 2 pills by herself. She says it will go down,
I
and she
hear
checks
that
it goes down.
often,
So
yeah.
how often should a diabetic patient go to see a doctor? He or she?
One of the things we encourage, if you're already a diabetic, you're already on treatment, we encourage you to get a glucometer. So this is a small little device. I tell my patients it should be with you just like your cell phone, because you don't go anywhere without your mobile phone.
Okay.
So that, because we encourage them to check their blood sugars regularly. So we have treatment goals that we share with our patients. So if they're checking their sugars at home at intervals and their numbers are going, you know, it's easy for them to tell when the number starts to go higher than what the doctor has, you know, the range that we've told you is appropriate. So even if I say, oh, you're well controlled, everything is fantastic, come back in 3 months. And in 6 weeks, you notice that, hello, in the last 2 weeks, my sugars have been running
So you check
higher
every
than.
day?
It depends on the degree of diabetes. There are patients that we actually encourage to test 4 times a day. There are patients that we encourage to test 3 times a week. So it depends on how intensive the diabetes management is. It's all individualized. But there's something I don't want to forget. The major theme for this year's World Diabetes Day, they call it Eyes on Diabetes. Because diabetes is one of the leading causes of blindness worldwide. So uncontrolled, the blood sugar starts to damage the vessels at the back of the eye. And most people don't just go about day to day. It's damaging nerves, it's damaging blood vessels. And before they know it, and this thing happens, it doesn't happen overnight. Majority of the time, it's gradual. Sometimes it takes years. So part of the things we do, if you're seeing your doctor regularly, we screen for all these complications. We tell you, you need to get a diabetic eye exam. So not just the roadside glasses person that will just say, can you read, you know. This is a detailed eye exam that you have to do on a yearly basis.
Let me take this call. Ayodele, are you there? Ayodele?
Yes.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
Am I speaking with you?
Speaking with you?
Your view.
Yes, please go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes. The lady that is talking about diabetes
Yes.
is something that we can control through drugs and food. I want to ask her, is it possible to control diabetes through what you eat?
Okay, diet.
Okay, your diet. All right. Thank you very much. I do.
In fact, the nutrition is key. There's just not enough time. The nutrition is key. And I tell my patients all the time, it's easy for me to prescribe a drug. It's not a big deal. I can just write a drug and say, see you next time. If you don't change your lifestyle, it's not going to work. It will not work. So nutrition, exercise, maintaining an ideal body weight, you know, avoiding obesity or being overweight, those are the things that worsen insulin resistance, that causes and worsens the diabetes in the first place.
Okay.
So nutrition matters a lot.
Yes, go ahead.
That statistics that were read by 2030, and you saying that in the next 20-25 years, about 200 million and all that,
Extra.
is very, very scary.
Yes.
Now, is it possible that it is linked to the fact that we, especially right now in Africa, we've moved our diets to, what's it called?
Refined.
A lot of refined fast
yes.
food, and we do not exercise, you know.
True.
On, you know, like
Yes.
the way our mothers would trek from one place to the other.
Yes.
What is the real link? Is it just
You are very right. If you look at worldwide prevalence.
Can I pause you for a second? Let me take Tony's call. Tony, are you there? Tony.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, Tony. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Please, I want to since some are genetic, what are the causes of others that are not genetic?
Okay.
And what are the symptoms?
I didn't hear that, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay.
like we got that? Yeah.
We got
Others
it.
that are not
Genetic, yeah.
Yeah. But please answer this question
This
first.
question
I'll
first.
remind you of Tony's
So
question.
if you look at prevalence worldwide, you know, of course, there are a lot more people that have diabetes in Europe, in North America, compared to Africa. But the population there is also much larger than our population. But even if you look at Africa, the number of diabetics are higher in the countries that have higher GDPs. So, and you know, you know, Equatorial Guinea, in all these
Cities.
countries, and then in
Metropolitan
metropolitan cities, because like you said, we are not exercising. And then going back to this caller's question, apart from genetics, even with genetics, if my parents had diabetes and they had, say they had 10 children, so some of us may inherit the gene, some of us may not. But even if I inherited the gene, I may be able to delay or prevent my progression to diabetes if I eat right, I'm exercising, I maintain an ideal body weight, because if you're obese, if you have hypertension, if you have high cholesterol, you know, these are all, and if you're, you know, the refined food, not exercising, these are all things that lead to insulin resistance.
Now, I
predispose an individual.
I know that we don't have much time to go into nutrition, but a lot of our food are carbohydrate based, and yet we didn't used to suffer much of diabetes. Our parents weren't suffering much of diabetes. So how can we, still eating our local meals, reduce the onset of?
Because we can't all, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's like now it's like it's difficult to have it all. It's like trying to have it all. So in our parents' time, of course, our population was not this much. We didn't have major statistics. We were not checking.
Yeah.
We had
So you
diabetes
don't know
there,
whether they died.
but clearly not this much. But the most important thing is that in our grandparents, not even our parents, our grandparents' generation, they were very active.
All right,
like
let
one
me
of you
pause. Let me
mentioned.
pause. Let's take a quick
They
break.
were
Come
very
back.
active.
We'll be right back.
From the house to the
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Yes, stop.
Jumoke has a question.
Oh, sorry.
Now, everything you've mentioned, and my father had diabetes before I was born, so I know that it can be very tiring. You know, giving yourself the insulin shots, you're on your medication 3 times a day is hard. It is expensive. I like us to harp on prevention. I, for instance, now know that I have to do a screening to make sure that I don't have it, and then get on my exercise, my diet, prevention. Because a lot of us don't know how we get it. You know, so how can we prevent diabetes?
If we can slow down the obesity rate. Now, this discussion we're having about diabetes is mostly about type 2 diabetes, which is like more than 90% of diabetics. That's the majority, not the type 1s. If we can slow down obesity, if we can stay more active, if we can avoid refined, it doesn't mean you'd never eat sugar. But you know, I drink a Coke every day. It's not cheap.
You're killing yourself. I eat a cookie every day.
It's not cheap.
Is that bad? I eat a cookie every day.
Well, it depends on the size of the cookie. It depends on your risk factors.
All right.
And then it depends on if you're exercising or not. But those are what you are doing. Those are the things that can prevent.
That's good.
This is not just hearsay. Studies have been done.
Okay, let me take this call from Sokoto. Idris, are you there?
And then she comes back.
Yeah, I'm there, Morayo.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I want to ask one question.
Go ahead.
I'm there, Morayo. Good morning.
Oh.
Is it true that to control diabetes, you have to wake up in the morning, early morning, without brushing your mouth and take water?
I've not heard of that before.
That is just normal detox now.
Myth.
Okay.
That's a myth.
Okay, thanks, Idris. Let's doctor address.
Prevention and control.
Water is
It's
good.
a myth. The main prevention really is to, number one, your lifestyle.
Okay.
Diet, your nutrition, your exercise, maintaining your ideal body weight, and then go for your routine screening.
So you shouldn't get fat, generally. Anybody fat
Try
is
not
predisposed.
to. Well, a lot of lean people have diabetes too. Like I said, it's a complex, multiple risk factors that predispose.
How can government make this more affordable?
Now, government has a huge role to play.
Because it's expensive.
Huge role. For example, I see patients through the managed care insurance. You see some patients, they're seeing you because they have HMO from their job. That's their mode of health insurance. Most HMOs do not cover
diabetes
to pay for those glucometers. So they might cover maybe a small fee to see the doctor, and then they only cover the very, very basic medications. And diabetes is a progressive disease. It progresses. So that's why if you're on top of it, you're managing it from beginning,
it won't get worse.
It's huge because you can slow down progression.
All right, let me take
time.
this call from Sam. Sam, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Thanks for
Good
calling.
morning.
Morning.
Yeah, please, I want to ask the doctor. Hello?
Yes,
please.
Yeah, please, I want to ask the doctor. Taking bitters, this normal bitters, they don't have effect in diabetes.
Okay.
How do they help? That's a good one.
All right.
Or preventing diabetes.
Thank you, Sam. Yes.
All right, Mr. Sam, thanks for. I truly wish I had a straightforward answer. The truth is that I don't know. I'm saying that because I don't necessarily want to throw away all herbal options. We have orthodox anti-diabetic drugs that we use to treat our patients from diabetes. Of course, they were all manufactured and discovered abroad, but some of them actually came from natural plants, in other countries. Unfortunately, we've not been in a position, I guess, in our country to be able to study, what we have. So it's very possible that there might be solutions.
But I wanted to ask, if someone has have been, very lazy managing diabetes and it has progressed to some extent, and they now begin to take it serious that, okay, you know what, I've not been doing the right thing. I just want to start doing the right thing, and do they still have chances also of, you know, correcting if at all it had progressed to some point and slowing
It
it
is
down?
never too late.
Okay. So
Even if you already have all the complications, it is still worthwhile to improve control because it will.
Somebody's asking about the common symptoms.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Okay, great. So common symptoms: unintended weight loss. Oh, I'm losing weight, but I'm not trying. Go check.
Oh,
so unintended weight loss, feeling thirsty a lot, wanting to drink all the time. Of course, they end up peeing all the time. You know, long time ago, they'll tell you you pee and there's ants nearby. Nobody pees. Well, a lot of people don't pee outside anymore.
Only men.
So we don't see that anymore. But those are the and then blurry vision. So gradual blurry vision, weight loss, increased thirst, wanting to drink all the time, and you know.
So once you notice those things, go see a doctor.
And then frequent infections. If you're, especially for women, if you're having frequent, you know, genital infections, skin infections, recurrent, they're happening frequently.
I actually need to go get myself.
Those are the common
So
things.
is there a place where we can actually screen, you know, or we just go to any pharmacy or just?
To be honest, most, and you know, you don't need to see an endocrinologist to get screened.
Yeah, just
and even a lot of laboratories, you just want to do blood sugar, they will check it. If you go to a lot of either government hospital, private clinics, they can do a real blood sugar or just a glucometer blood
All right,
sugar.
thank you so much. That's a great, always having you here. Thank you
There's
so much.
never enough time.
There's never enough time. We have to round up. All right, that's all we can take on the show. Yesterday actually was World Diabetes Day, so today try to get tested. And if you are seeing all these symptoms you just mentioned, kindly go get tested today, all right? Have a lovely day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Can diabetes be cured?
Can be managed.